Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating and historic journey of the Washington quarter dollar, a coin that has traveled through nearly a century of American life, carrying with it the legacy of the nation's first president, the story of U.S. coinage evolution, and the passion of millions of collectors who still treasure it to this day. The Washington quarter first appeared in 1932, introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, but what began as a one-year commemorative quickly became a permanent fixture of American currency. Its birth came during the Great Depression, a time when the country desperately needed symbols of unity and resilience. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, whose elegant portrait of Washington replaced Laura Garden Fraser's competition-winning entry due to Treasury Secretary Andrew Mellon's controversial decision, the coin instantly became a topic of artistic debate. The obverse features a right-facing bust of Washington with the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust, while the reverse displays a powerful bald eagle perched upon a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, a design blending strength and peace. The coin's original specifications were 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing 6.25 grams and measuring 24.3 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded edge that gleamed under Depression-era sunlight. The 1932 issues were struck at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but it was the low-mintage 1932D and 1932S that became instant legends among collectors. Only 436,800 pieces at Denver and 408,000 at San Francisco, both of which remain the key dates of the entire series. A gem-grade 1932D in MS 66 sold for $89,125 at auction, while a 1932 SMS 67 has realized over $45,000, proving how scarcity and history intertwine to define value. No quarters were minted in 1933 as the Depression deepened, and production resumed in 1934 with minor adjustments to Washington's hair detail and the eagle's feathers. Collectors still prize 1934 and 1935 examples with strong strikes, as later issues lost some sharpness. By the 1940s, the Washington quarter had become a workhorse of American commerce, circulating widely during World War II. Wartime issues like the 1940S, 1941S, and 1943S are famous for inconsistent strikes, and perfectly struck MS 68 examples command thousands. A 1943 SMS 68 sold for $17,000. The silver composition continued through the booming 1950s, and quarters such as 1950D and 1950S in flawless condition can reach $6,000 or more. The 1955 quarter, a lower mintage year, yields superb specimens that have fetched $8,000 in auction. Through these decades, subtle mintmark and die varieties kept collectors intrigued, and the Washington design became a familiar patriotic emblem across the nation's growing prosperity. By the early 1960s, silver prices were climbing and hoarding became rampant, prompting the government to end silver coinage. The 1964 Washington quarter was the last to contain 90% silver, with more than $1 billion struck to meet demand. Brilliant 1964 DMS 67 coins have still brought $3,000 to $5,000. The Coinage Act of 1965 introduced a copper-nickel clad composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core, reducing the weight to 5.67 grams. Yet a few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets. These transitional rarities are worth $10,000 to $20,000 each when authenticated. From 1965 onward, all regular issues were clad, signaling the end of silver in daily circulation. In 1976, for America's bicentennial celebration, the Mint replaced Flanagan Eagle Reverse with a design by Jack L. AHR featuring a colonial drummer and torch with 13 stars, and dated 1776 to 1976. These bicentennial quarters, minted in copper-nickel for circulation and a limited silver-clad version for collectors, became beloved symbols of patriotism. High-grade deep cameo proofs have realized $1,000 or more, and superb uncirculated San Francisco specimens have surpassed $6,000. After 1977, the eagle returned, but the coin's future would soon transform again. During the 1980s and 1990s, subtle die refinements improved the portrait's clarity. Key modern rarities emerged because 1982 and 1983 had no official mint sets, leaving collectors scrambling for pristine examples. 1983 PMS 67 coins now fetch $2,519.82 pieces exceed $1,000. In 1992, silver proofs reappeared in annual sets, reviving the 90% silver composition for collectors. Then in 1999 came a revolution. The 50-state quarters program, spanning 1999 to 2008, each featuring a unique reverse honoring one state. The redesign by William Cousins retained Washington's portrait but moved the mint mark to the obverse. With billions minted, the series nevertheless produced prized varieties such as the 2004 D Wisconsin Extra Leaf High and Low Errors, with mint state examples selling for $6,000. The 1999 Delaware First State Quarter remains iconic, with perfect proofs above $400 and error examples above $10,000. The 2005 Kansas In God We Rust grease-filled die error brings $50 to $1,000. Collectors love the hunt, and state quarters inspired a new generation of numismatists. After the 50 states were honored, 2009 brought 6 D.C. and U.S. territory quarters featuring the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Northern Mariana Islands. Then, in 2010, the America the Beautiful Quarters series began, celebrating 56 national parks and landmarks through 2021. These coins returned artistry to circulating coinage, with designs from Yosemite to Grand Canyon to Mount Rushmore. Among them, the 2019 W. West Point minted quarters stand out as modern treasures. Only 2 million of each design were released directly into circulation, the first ever bearing a W mint mark. These limited coins created a national treasure hunt. Examples graded MS-68 have realized $2,000, while even circulated pieces bring $100 to $300. The 2019 W. San Antonio Missions Quarter sold for $1,600 in mint state, proving modern rarity still thrives. In 2021, as America the Beautiful ended, the mint issued the Crossing the Delaware reverse designed by Michael Gaudioso, depicting Washington heroically leading his troops through icy waters, a return to historic drama after years of state and park themes. Later that year began the American Women Quarters Program, 2021 to 2025, celebrating prominent female figures like Maya Angelou, Sally Ride, Wilma Mankiller, Nina Otero Warren, and Anna May Wong. For the first time, the mint used Laura Garden Fraser's original 1931 portrait of Washington on the obverse, a beautiful full-circle moment righting the historic decision that once rejected her art. Collectors celebrated this artistic justice, and these modern issues in silver and proof finishes already command strong demand. Top sets sell for hundreds of dollars each. Across nearly a century of trust, freedom, and collecting passion that binds generations. Its key dates, 1932 D and 1932 S, stand as pillars of numismatic heritage, while rare transitional errors like the 1965 silver planchet and modern 2019 W rarities prove that even in a modern minting world, unexpected treasures still appear. Auction records reveal the series' enduring power. A 1932 DMS 67 Plus sold for $143,000, a 1950 proof PR 68 Deep Cameo for $10,350, and even bicentennial proofs have crossed the $2,000 mark. As we move deeper into the story of the Washington quarter dollar, the true excitement for collectors lies in its errors, varieties, and hidden rarities that have turned pocket change into fortune, creating unforgettable headlines in the coin world. Over the decades, the Washington Quarter Series has produced a wide array of minting mistakes and die varieties that continue to astonish even veteran numismatists, each error telling a story of human oversight or machine malfunction that escaped the mint's strict quality control. Among the earliest and most coveted errors is the 1934 double die obverse, where the word, "In God We Trust," and parts of Washington's profile exhibit dramatic doubling visible to the naked eye. This variety, caused by a misaligned hubbing during die creation, is highly sought after, and sharp examples graded MS-65 can command prices exceeding $8,000, while circulated specimens still sell for hundreds. Another fascinating rarity is the 1943 double die obverse, where doubling is noticeable on the date and motto, with top-graded coins selling for $5,000 or more. The 1942 D over horizontal D is an intriguing variety where the original mint mark was punched horizontally and then corrected, producing a distinct shadow effect. These pieces often reach $2,000 in uncirculated grades. Moving to the post-war era, the 1950 D/S over mint mark variety emerged when leftover San Francisco dies were repunched with a Denver D, leading to overlapping mint marks visible under magnification. Certified MS-65 examples have brought $6,000 at major auctions. When the mint transitioned from silver to clad coinage in 1965, A few silver planchets remained in the machinery and were accidentally struck with 1965 dies. These transitional 1965 silver quarters are among the most famous errors in U.S. numismatics. Weighing 6.25 grams instead of the standard 5.67 grams for clad issues, these coins have sold for staggering amounts. In 2019, one graded MS-62 sold for $16,800, and others in higher grades have topped $20,000. Similarly, a few 1964 D quarters struck on clad planchets, a reverse transitional error, have surfaced, fetching $7,000 to $10,000 each. During the 1970s, error collecting gained mainstream popularity, and one of the decade's legends is the 1970 S-proof quarter struck over a 1941 Canadian quarter, an astonishing minting blunder discovered in proof sets. This coin, which shows remnants of the foreign coin's design beneath Washington's bust, sold for more than $35,000 at auction, making it one of the most famous proof errors of all time. Another spectacular piece is the 1977 D quarter struck on a 40% silver planchet intended for Eisenhower dollars, which sold for $7,000. The 1980s and 1990s introduced new technological errors as minting equipment evolved. The 1983 P spitting eagle variety, named for a small die crack extending from the eagle's beak, has become a collector favorite, with top-graded coins valued between $250 and $1,200. The 1982 P no mint mark is another important modern rarity because mint marks were punched by hand and occasionally omitted. These coins, when fully brilliant and uncirculated, can reach $2,000. Another notable error is the 1990 No. S proof quarter, struck at the San Francisco Mint without the S mint mark. Only a few dozen are known, and one PR-69 deep cameo example sold for over $55,000. The 1995 D double die reverse and the 1996 D missing clad layer errors are also valuable, with the latter showing a copper core on one side and selling for $1,000 in high grades. The modern era brought perhaps the most publicized Washington quarter errors through the 50-state quarters program. The 1999 P Delaware spitting horse variety features a die crack through the horse's mouth and can sell for $200 in mint state, while the 1999 Connecticut quarter with extra tree branches caused by die chips can reach $500. The 2004 D Wisconsin quarter with the extra leaf, both high and low varieties, remains one of the most famous modern U.S. coin errors, with uncirculated examples selling for $5,000 to $10,000 depending on grade and variety. The 2005 Kansas In God We Rust error, caused by grease-filled dies removing part of the T, sells for $100 to $1,000 depending on condition. In 2005, a Minnesota quarter with an extra tree doubling error was discovered, leading to over 60 known die varieties. Some versions bring over $2,000. Collectors also hunt for off-center strikes, broad strikes, double strikes, and missing clad layers throughout the Washington quarter series. Dramatically off-center coins showing 50% of the blank planchet can sell for $1,000 or more, while double-struck pieces with overlapping design elements often bring similar prices. Missing clad layer errors are especially eye-catching, showing a golden copper core on one face, and high-grade examples fetch between $500 and $2,500. Another group of rarities comes from special proof and mint set production mishaps. In 1992, the first year of the silver proof reintroduction, a few 1992 S-proof quarters were mistakenly struck with a regular copper-nickel die, producing a non-silver proof coin in a silver set. These can reach $3,000 to $5,000. Likewise, wrong planchet errors continue to surprise collectors, such as quarters struck on dime planchets, resulting in undersized coins weighing only 2.3 grams, valued between $1,000 and $4,000 depending on visibility of the design. Quarters struck on nickel or cent planchets also exist, typically worth around $1,500. In recent years, the 2019 W West Point quarters have generated immense collector excitement. Distributed randomly into circulation with limited mintages of 2 million per design, they are modern treasures. Many have been discovered with die chips, struck through grease marks, and minor doubling, making even these small errors appealing. Perfect MS-70 examples can reach $3,000 to $5,000, while error-designated versions can exceed $10,000. The West Point mint mark revived the thrill of coin hunting for millions of Americans, reminiscent of the 1960s silver rush. For collectors focusing on rarity and grade, the Washington quarter's top auction records remain astonishing. A 1932 DMS 67 Plus brought $143,750, while a 1932 SMS 67 reached $45,600. A 1950 proof quarter in PR 68 deep cameo sold for $10,350, and a 1976 S silver bicentennial quarter graded PR 70 deep cameo realized $6,462. More recent pieces, like the 1999 S silver Delaware quarter PR 70 deep cameo, have sold for $2,000, and a 2019 W San Antonio Missions quarter MS 68 went for $2,160. These values prove that even coins made for everyday use can achieve the prestige of fine art when preserved in perfection or touched by rarity. Beyond individual values, the Washington Quarter series teaches the beauty of detail. The subtle changes in mint marks, hub styles, portrait refinements, and relief levels across 9 decades form a living museum of American coin design. The early silver pieces with their rich luster tell the story of a nation recovering from depression, while the modern clad and special issue coins represent innovation and diversity. Collecting Washington quarters can be both affordable and thrilling. Circulated examples cost face value, yet within those simple coins may lie a $5,000 error or a variety still waiting to be discovered. Collector who studies die cracks, doubling, or transitional planchets carries on the numismatic curiosity that keeps this series alive. The Washington quarter dollar is not just metal, it is memory, mystery, and American identity struck in miniature. Thanks for watching.